Today's video is about honesty, integrity, to yourself, to how people treat you, and respect. I mean, you know, we all like those things in people. So, to do transition, you've got to have medical assistance properly. I mean, to do transition without having a doctor or a psychiatrist is harder, is not really good for you physically. You know, I'm talking about your health. You need it monitored, you need it checked, and you need to be able to get those things illegally so you don't have to commit crime to obtain them. So, in my case, excuse me, in my case I had my own doctor for over 30 years, and he was who I used for my initial phase of my transition. I'm over 1 year into my transition now, so I've had many experiences which I can now voice and have basis for those opinions, because I don't like to talk about things I have not experienced myself or have full knowledge of. It's just wrong, because it's stupid. So anyway, so I have my medical doctor. He's great, he's brilliant, he knows all about me. He knows my illicit drug life, he knows about my health, my well-being, he knows about every relationship I've ever had. He knows everything, more than what a normal doctor would, in a sense, because I actually communicate with this guy in that way, and my personality, which hasn't changed really between the two, between the old me and this me, as I call it. I mean, personality hasn't really changed, just it's more truthful and more honest. Anything more in your face. It's a Greek expression, that one. So anyway, why? So you got your doctor, and then you need a psychiatrist, because in most Western or most countries these days, even if you want to get your surgery to get your sex change, sorry, the boobs are getting underneath that in there. You need that letter, so they can, you know, meet their criteria to give you the surgery and get that what you really desire, which is a sex change. So anyway, so you've got to get a psychiatrist. Well, I had one 20 years ago, and she was great. Her name was Helen Tingay, and she was a great lady. She agreed with me then and there that I knew that, you know, I was to be transgender. Or should I say I am transgender? But she added a little phrase, and it was, do it when you're ready. When you're ready to do it. And that was a very interesting phrase to make, and it rang through to me for many years. I mean, you know, because just the lady, her way she presented herself and come across, that's how it went into my brain. So about 20 years go past, and there's been many events in my life, and you've seen some snippings of it. So decided to do my transition. I'm 120 kilo plus. I'm living in the island of Crete, in the middle of the Mediterranean. I've got a beard, and I'm miserable and unhappy inside. I mean, you know, I lived in a beautiful place, gorgeous place, absolutely beautiful, and you know, it's a great place to live at that time. But inside, I wasn't happy, and I had a lot of things at stake, which basically I was prepared to lose, in a sense. You know, we're talking a lot. We're not joking. And it would have been my transition at a later date, and I would have been able to achieve everything I wanted to do during that transition, and not have to worry about the money part of it in any way, because it had over 15 years of working overseas has accumulated a considerable amount of life's enjoyments, which I was prepared to take a bite to. Life happened. This is part of like integrity and honesty within yourself. So I walked away from, well, I don't know, probably close to $500,000 worth altogether. And I was quite prepared to do that, and I did that. I took 2 cases for the clone, and I left, and I come back home. I was going to do what I needed to do. I had a choice. So that was my choice. So when I come back home, I start my process, and a couple of years down the track, I get into gear fully, and I follow it. So I need to get a psychiatrist, so I start trying to hunt one down. It takes many months to get into the first appointment, and I'm fully aware of what this guy would do. I mean, as the other girls have told me, he's going to ring me up probably a month or two before and try and surprise me to do the surprise, visit appointment. Well, big deal. Okay, you're not going to surprise me. I don't go into things blindfolded or eyes closed. I have an open eyes and open mind, and I do research. So anyway, so we'll go off to this appointment, meet the guy. He's sitting there, bald gentleman in a chair, laid back, like this, with his paper and his pen and his glasses on. And he's not even asking really any questions, except why am I here when I'm already studying hormones, and I'm already on hormones? Why am I here? Explain to him. I want to do my transgender, I need SRS, I need his letter of approval for it. So after a few appointments, really only a few questions I remember was, and I'm speeding through this because of time limit, so the last one got blocked because it's too long, was how do you think people perceive you? And I said a freak. Well, we're all freaks, mate, get used to it. We're all unique people. And so it wasn't, to me, that's not a bad terminology, as I live in the northern suburbs, which is pretty straightforward area. They're going to say what they're going to say, and if you don't like it, stiff shit. And then secondly, with another question, he says, you'll never become a woman. You'll never have a vagina. Well, I'm sorry, mate, we'll have a vagina. It's called a neo-vagina. There's a medical term for it in a sense. And, so, yeah, I will have that one. Wake up again. So anyway, we'll go all those points. Now we get down to the point of integrity and honesty. Well, integrity and honesty is something which you've got to have. You won't be honest with yourself. And firstly, we'll go to quick facts. Secondly, people make appointments. Some write them down, some don't. People change them, and then they come to an agreement. So anyway, this is what happened in one event. I got a phone call, they changed the appointment. I wrote it down in my diary. I just happened to have my mum next to me on speakerphone, so it was fully honest, I knew exactly what I was doing. I get a phone call 2 days before this appointment, steered by this doctor's staff, saying I've missed my appointment. And I said, no, I haven't. I said, it's in my diary. You guys changed it just before Christmas. And they said, no, we didn't. This is the appointment. And I said, you did. And so they go off, they talk. Doctor come back and says, no, I don't care what it says, right? It owes me $140, or that's it. I won't see her, or it. So, simple. It comes down to a question of integrity and honesty. And if you can't believe someone's integrity and their honesty, then you don't serve your purpose. You're just lying to that person and anyone else you may speak to or refer to about them. So I stopped him, told him his services are no longer required, as he does not believe me and my honesty and integrity. So he didn't like that. Got pissed off big time, to the point where he writes a letter to my doctor. Mind you, remember, this doctor's known me many, many years, knows me very, very, very well. Writes a letter saying that my family was dysfunctional, which is, excuse me, I came from a very, very loving family, which loved me very, very dearly, and it was not dysfunctional in any way during my childhood years at all. Secondly, he gets all the dates of birth or years of birth between my brothers and sisters wrong. Well, it's your second mistake. And then the third state, it says my mother was mentally distressed because of loss of child. Well, sorry mate, wrong again. And to say no one had any backup with my family, well, hey, you're wrong again. To say that every appointment I went to see him, that, basically I presented no femininity. I was in stained, dirty, or untidy clothing. Well, Target's not marked. It's not marked clothing or stained or dirty. It's brand new and it was clean. To say that my hair was frizzed up and looked artificial. Well, hey, wake up! This is my natural hair, and there'll be 47 years of people who know me, which is probably close to probably 1 million, I reckon, throughout the world over the years. I could tell you this is my hair. It's not artificial. Only the colour is. So you screwed up again. And then to say that you've seen all the photographs, well, YouTube, you've got the photos already on there. You tell me what you see. And he says they never projected any signs of femininity. Well, I'm sorry, babe. 120 kilos is pretty, or 100 kilos is pretty hard to make look feminine when they're in that area. But yeah, there is femininity in it. So anyway, we'll cover the points of integrity. So Dr. Lyons, excuse the terminology, you're fucking full of shit, and you should retire. I mean, it's disgusting you'd even do that letter and present yourself as a professional with all those letters after your name and damage your integrity and your honour by stating those facts which are incorrect and totally wrong and out of date and out of text, out of continuity and everything else which you can do with it. I mean, it's disgusting. You would have received Mum's reply because she had the joy and pleasure of reading it, which she has a right to since you're damaging her integrity and her honour. So she has sent you the reply. And I'm guaranteed that some of my siblings will do the same. And this is the start of my reply to your letter. So, enjoy, take care. Dr. Lyons in Adelaide, South Australia. Reevaluate your theories and your philosophy, mate. It's wrong. You're wrong. It's not a monetary issue. It's an integrity and honesty. So, have a great day, people. Life be with you. Love you all. To the next one. Payback's a bitch.